G'day everyone, welcome back to Stu's Place Down Under. Today we're going to find out what happened to the new Albion here. She just stopped, so let's have a look. So before we look at it, I'm doing this on a Sunday, so I don't usually do that. It's generally family time Sundays, but my wife and I have discussed about probably putting 2 videos out a week if we can. It's a lot of work on both of us, but it's going to promote the channel a lot better, create more activity, more comments, more overall to get YouTube to recognise it. However that works, I don't seem to know. No one seems to know. So that'll include shorts as well when I'm at work, which is late model earth moving equipment. I've got minimal interest in, but it's what I do every day, and that's how I earn my money. So and it does create interest, but if people click on that because they like late model Caterpillar earth moving equipment, then come home and see this sort of stuff. I don't know that it works, but it still creates activity. So that's what we're going to try and do. So you've probably noticed I'm wearing a white shirt and I'm about to fix something. It will get dirty obviously, but I'm just trying to promote these shirts as well, because we've only sold the black. The black ones have been way more popular, and the singlets are going too. So if you've got a lunch or a dinner booked with that someone special, this is exactly what you need to be wearing to impress them. So get your orders in for those. You'll also all notice that I do like a beer in these episodes. I don't really drink through the week, but I do like a beer, but I haven't had one for a while now. I think my last one was probably 10 past, 8:15 or something like that last night. So I'm doing pretty well. We'll see what happens to Savo, see if I break that spell or not. So it is hot here today. It's going to be 40 degrees Celsius, so whatever that is in Fahrenheit, you can work that out for you Americans and whoever else uses that system. But it's at the moment I think it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty cool. So, but it's going to be hot. Just trying to get this out of the way. So last week my dad was using this for about an hour. I was up working on whatever I was doing up there. I was doing another episode anyway. It could have been the crane, I don't know. Anyway, he was using this and we weren't videoing it, so I went and he used it for about an hour, and I went and done one load with it, and I turned around here to back down to the heap and she stopped, and it didn't go again. So what I'm thinking's happened is, I think Mark, the bloke that I got it off, has only driven it around his yard. So us using it here in the rough paddock and for over an hour, I think it's probably shaken the tank up and blocked the filters. That's what it seemed like, because when I changed direction, she just didn't even idle, it just stopped. So we're going to try and we are going to change the filter and try and get it going again, but she's still loaded, as you can see. We've just been cleaning up the paddock here and tipping her here, ready to burn in the winter. So I want to use it today to put some dirt up behind the house. I can use the Acco or the Mac, but this is so much easier. It's just easy to drive, and it's just got one pancake leaking on the front axle, one brake booster. The diaphragm's leaking, and then once you run out of air, it's got nothing, because there's no emergencies on it. It's got a handbrake lever, but it only pulls the slack adjusters very minimal. So you've got to have I like to back the brakes off at least, I don't know, quarter to half a turn or 2 clicks, however you feel it. But these, you've only just got to go minimal backing them off when you adjust them, because the actual lever doesn't pull those on enough. All it does is override them. So I am thinking it's got the same bolt pattern as a 30-30 or a 25-30, putting an emergency booster on there too with just a dash valve, so you can pull her up. Once it runs out of air, we've been running it up the heap that we've been tipping off, just so it pulls her up and you're not using all that air. The first one we run up the side of the tree just with the wheel, not hard, just so we didn't use that air. So that won't be today, but that's something I do want to do to it. Plus both rear wheel seals are leaking oil onto the shoes, so that's obviously the park axle as well, so that's not really working. It's got good brakes on the foot, but when it runs out of air, she runs away. So it's pretty hilly around here. So that's another thing we'll do to it in the future. For those of you who haven't seen this, there's an episode I just put out this morning. I don't know when this will air, but Sunday morning I've put it out. I was picking this up in my blue Kenworth. So that's more of a drive in the Kenworth than it is this, but we went to pick it up. So this is the first episode actually just for this. Won't be a will at start, because it started and run perfect when I picked it up. So that was completely eliminated, that episode. So We'll drop the filter off it now and have a look in there. As you can see, we've been leaving the tailgate just latched with it on the other side of the latches, so we moved all, Dad moved all this with her, and I done one load, and that's where she come to an end. So I did try and start it, she fired and just ran a little bit and stopped, so there's a can of ether in there, but that just locked her straight up, and there's obviously another problem anyway, so I don't want to keep using it. I think there's a separator I saw there. I don't know that that's a filter, I think it's just a separator, which I will check. It's got plenty of diesel in it. Mark did say, who I got it off, that he's never given it into service or changed any filters, so I don't know how the air filter, but it's not acting like an air filter, it's just like a fuel blockage. So there's that filter there, and there's another housing the same as it there. So, and if you're working on something with a Lucas 296 or a COV 296 on it, you're working on something big in quality. So we're going to pluck that off there. It looks old too. It looks old. So we'll get that going. She did get a little bit hot, but we're not running a cap on it. Not when I say hot, it was just not hot enough to hurt it, but hotter than I would have liked. So it needs water as well. I've got to get a bigger cap for it. I think there's one over there on my crane over there. I think it's got a Leyland in it too, but that's not the comparison, that's just the size of the neck. So we need to do that as well, because she could have just shaken the water out of her and run out of it. I don't know, but it was hotter than I'd like. So I'll set it up here, pull that off 7/16 and see where we go. Those old seals are pretty hard, but I put a bit of grease on them just to help them seal. Should be okay. Don't think it was sucking air, but it may now because it was full. So she's got the 400 Leyland diesel in this one. For those of you who don't know, I think Mark said they're rated at 125 horsepower or something like that. She was running beautiful. Excuse my hand, I've got to go and attack it backwards. Get that out. I usually have to take the cab off it to get the filter out. I have to not film getting this out because the camera's right where I need to lay to make it happen. Took a lot of water for something that was full when we started using it. She done the bottom hose, bastard. Where it all went. No, she didn't get too hot. When there's no water in there, it's hard to tell how hot it gets. There's nothing on the gauge sender. Doesn't look easy to get at either. think that's a bit of a major. Okay, so it's going to be radiator out. I just found there was 2 quick release clips on the front of that grill. I never knew that. That was great. So they just turned with like a square drive and then out it came. So radiator doesn't look like a big job, but for how hot it's getting, it probably is. But I'll start attacking it and see where we get. So there's 2 hoses, obviously. There's some braces going back to the engine, then the 2 mounts. Then that horn's got to come out of the road, you can see there. Here's this bloke in this aeroplane again. Then it looks like it can lift up into that where the cap's open at the top there and pull out at the bottom, I hope. I hope so, because that cab mount looks like it's going to be in the way if not, so we'll see what we can do. So I've got the hoses off and everything's done inside. Wasn't much water left in it. That leak's basically right at the bottom, so hopefully it hasn't hurt her. What else would you rather be doing on a Sunday? I don't know what that bang was. I hope it wasn't here. Oh, she had a wheel nut spacer on that bolt. I don't like this at all. Now have to try and support the cab if we take that off. What a bugger. Okay, so I've got a jack under one side of the cab and just wedged it on the chassis there with another bit of timber, so I'll try and take this cab mount out now, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Hopefully they haven't got nuts behind them. I don't have to get a spanner up in there. Starting to get really hot here. Time I gotta go, and there will be no time for the job. Don't worry, there's not enough weight on there for that spanner to hurt that core. This one's bent. So they're only 3/8 bolts holding the cab on. Fairly unique, I'd say. I'm just trying to straighten that thread so I can come through that hole. Got some spaces on her. Okay. I could have brought the impact gun down, but I didn't know that we'll have to pull the cab off it. Goes from a block fuel fill to now I'm taking the cab off. Fairly easy way to mount the cab though, it's bloody fairly simple. You're a Kenworth cab mount, a dreadful thing. I'd say that's our clutch master reservoir, I'm thinking. Really want to upend that and give the clutch a gutful of air. Wedge it in there somewhere. Okay, look at that. Something I was worried about. It's very simple. Okay, see what happens now. Braces inside that I thought may have some flex on them, haven't got as much as I thought. Well, there we are, there's the front of her. She's coming out of that joint on the water pump there. Probably a good opportunity to do these other hoses too before she lets us down again. I'm not sure there's going to be a job I can do today. I don't know what's in behind that. Looks like there's a hose clamp there of some description. Looks like a rubber coupling or something behind it. Well, good going. I wish I had brought the impact gun now. Oh, I don't know what size that is. I just got ½ inch. That was the 5/8 I had on there, so it's 9/16. Nothing seems to be fitting it. 13. It'll be Whitworth, the old girl. Nice to just see what I need, then use the old lacquer to do the job. I'll have to get on to Mark and see if she come with any warranty. I know that's not how you're meant to use a ratchet as a hammer, but it ain't going to hurt it. Oh dear. Oh, it certainly looks like we're taking the water pump off her. What a bugger. Going to be tight on there, like the fan bolts. Well, didn't think I'll be doing this today. It'll take for a few leisurely loads, and not the case. 4, 6, they're all there. So she's got that down there, but I don't think that's going to give us grease coming off because it's rooted. There she is, she's completely bloody rotted off, bastard. I'll have to get one of those. What a bugger. That neck's just completely rotted off that plate. Fairly ingenious, isn't it? Yeah, so I won't be able to fix that. I'll have to get on the Mark and see what he's got. Well, that's going to be this episode for a week or so till I can get down and see Mark, see if he's got any parts, or we might be able to get something around here even online. But we won't be using it today. We'll have to go and use the Acco or the Mac or something. I don't know. Still want to get the job done, so we'll leave it here and see what we can organise. Yeah, everyone, it's a couple of weeks later. I ended up getting a part for this old girl. Here it is here. We've got the gasket, the rubber seal and everything with it. I think there's $100 in that, including express post. So to give the bloke a shout out that sent it to me. Again, I'm not sponsored or anything by this bloke. I like recognising nice people, because they're few and far between these days. The more people you meet, the more you get around, you just realise there's a lot of arrogance in the world, and I can't stand it. So even though this is what this bloke does, I'm still going to give him a shout out. It was ABC Diesels here in New South Wales, and if you're doing up a British truck or a bus or something along those lines, he's got the parts for it. So the part itself wasn't, I think it was $80 plus a few little gaskets and things. It was just magnificent. He put in an express post, and it was here before I needed it. It was here on Thursday, and today's Saturday, so I'm going to whack it on now. Bloody hot here today, and see if she goes. I've just done something really stupid before. I probably shouldn't share it with the world. That's my dad on, hang on, before we get me on the tripod here, it's a bit shaky. Here's my dad on the HD14 Alice Chalmers, pushing a bit of shrub out of the way. If you hear that squeaking in the background, that's the PCU, or the blade winch. So I just went to hire a car trailer before for some other thing I'm doing. I may video it, I may not. I've got a Bedford van here. I've done a deal with the bloke down at Nowra, and it's a bit of a shame because I think it's only about 10 kilometres before where I got this, and I went down empty to get this, and if I hadn't known about this deal, I would have taken the van down with me. But anyway, it's not going to be revving and roaring in the truck. It's only going to be towed down with the car. So just went to hire the car trailer from the servo up the road here. And it's that cheap, you wouldn't even bother buying one. It's $120 for 24 hours or something, which is great, it's insured and everything. But filled all the paperwork out, and he wanted me licence. I gave it to him, and he said, this is expired. And I'm like, Jesus. And I didn't even look at the date to see how far out, but I took that Kenworth up to Peach Ridge. last weekend through the weighbridge and everything. I'm not game to look at the date to see if it was valid at the time, but I'm glad I did go and hire that trailer, because if I'd have borrowed one off my other mate, which I was going to do, I wouldn't have known. And it just happens. And I did get the paperwork about it, and it's just blended in with all these other bills that we're struggling to pay, because the Australian government here's drilled us a new arsehole and everything's that expensive. There's all this paperwork's piling up that we're struggling to pay, and I think the licence paperwork is blended in with it, and I forgot all about it. And there's that much stress in life right now with how expensive things are here in Sydney. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, back to the truck. So I'm going to say that it was valid last weekend when I took that truck through, but I hope it was. Anyway, touch wood. So just going to unbolt this. I'll put a bit of goop on it. I haven't got a gasket for that water pump. I just put a bit of porridge on that. I should have asked him for one of them, but it wasn't until later on I remembered it. So anyway, a slight leak's better than the one it had, I guess, if it comes to that, which it probably won't. Clean her all up and do a good job of it, it should be okay. I just hope it didn't hurt it. I wasn't giving any signs that it was hot. There's a bit of steam right at the end coming out of the cap, and I just thought because it had no cap on it that was the case. Time will tell when we'll do a couple of load with it when we get it going. Still got to finish off what we were doing with it. I should replace these, but guess I probably still can. I'll have to run up the shed and find one. Well, yeah, the electrolysis had fun with her. Get a gasket scraper. I'm actually going to run up the shed first, see if I've got that hose and get a proper scraper off. This is my fourth set of tools or something I've got. So I've got one in the golf buggy, one at where I work, one in the workshop, and then one in this ute here. And each set gets smaller and smaller, and you just can't have everything, I suppose. So I'll get a scraper when I get that bit of hose. I've got a flimsy one there, but it's probably more for putting spack filler in your lounge room wall than it is for scraping off an old gasket. I keep all old radiator hoses, so some that, I mean ones that look good for these sort of things, old tractors. Yeah. That's as close as rude it is to shit is to swear, and I'll tell you. She needs a bit of some sort of treatment in her, because that pipe's all rusty, and this electrolysis and everything, it's not good. She's come this far in life, it's a shame to hurt it now. Certainly a good call doing that, look at that, jeez. There's my dad doing a bit of clearing on the HD14. If you want to see more of this machine, there are a couple of videos on it. I'm just pushing some shrub up, some bit of native stuff we're leaving, but the other rubbish we're getting rid of. There's something going to happen here soon. It probably won't be on video, but if you want to see more of this machine, that's a 2-stroke 671 in that Detroit diesel. Even though it doesn't sound like it, it most certainly is a 2-valve. The About 1939, 1940 this one. She still goes good, the tracks are rooted, but I've got to set off a D6 that they were throwing in the steel bin just because they were noisy, so same pitch and everything, so one day when one breaks I'll probably put those on. Forgive me if this is a little bit shaky, I'm just holding the tripod, not the gimbal. It's really hot here today. We've been getting rain every second day and then it just brings the moisture out. Wow. If you're in the shed there's just no air, and if you're outside the sun gets you, you can't win. But that's Australia. She's going to love these new parts. Reproduction part. I can't get that last bolt in. Like a, I don't know, made in China or India or something. Wouldn't be genuine, just don't exist anymore and doesn't fit. I've got it mostly back together while the water pump and everything's on. I didn't film because the dozer was working right next to us here and it's so noisy, so put the belt on now. I use this stuff. I know I wrap up that grey 3 bond, but I haven't got anything. I mean, I'm sure that's going to do the 2 machine services. Hasn't got a gasket, but I'm sure it's okay. So put the belt on now, then set the radiator back into her. I haven't got a big enough lever bar on me, everything's still up in the shed. Problem with working out of this old vehicle, but best of the cock you got, I suppose. Ah, that's lovely. It's like everything at Steve's place, the generator's only there to tighten the fan belt. Okay, right, it's getting hotter and hotter here. I didn't film that because of the doze, we just kept getting noisier and noisier, so I've got it full of water, the radiator's done. Just putting the cab mount back on her now, then we can clip all the front end to her and try and get her going. Bloody hell, it's hot. Definitely going to need a cold bottle of beer directly. Went to work this morning, we're rebuilding a Caterpillar D10. Fairly extensive rebuild on it. I don't usually go in Saturdays, but because we've got a bit going on, I did. So been up early, then went for all that other drama I told you about earlier, and now I think they must start slowing down after the week catches up. But I want to get this content out to you, and I want to, I enjoy it also. So certainly not complaining. Terrible sizes on this old pommy stuff. These late model tools don't fit it. That's Whitworth, what they are. Sort of using 15 mils and stuff on things. Like I'm working on a push bike. Bit of a breeze now, which there wasn't earlier. Starting to help. Oh, we're going to put the grill back in her and see if she goes again. I don't make stuff like that today, fits like that, big open plastic clipped, all broken.
You give it a belt like that, it'd break your nose.
Yeah, it's snapped. So, as they say, as sure as the sun rises with Albion, so I'd say she goes, so hopefully she goes. It's a bugger to get in with that door, isn't it?
You done them clips up?
The front?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Different sounds upon me ones, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like a D10, the door hits you in the arse all the time, won't you?
Okay. Can you get me a 17 mil or something?
Or something.
That bastard thing to get out of. Oh. Huh?
You got Dougal there?
Yeah. Try and nip that idle up if you...
Well, it was used to stall when you were coming backwards before. It was too low. Back and see, so.
Keep going, I'm told it. Keep going with the bottom. Doesn't sound like it hurt it.
The motor's alright. That's what you're worried about, wasn't it?
Oh, well, it didn't give any indication it was hot. A bit of steam out the front, but it wasn't knocking or anything. I was worried about it, yes.
No, that's it. Where's the air underneath in the bowl?
Huh? So it separated at the back. If she doesn't go again, we'll have to fucking get the air out of that. Try her again.
Right?
Yeah. Tip her off. Make sure the air's right up or it'll have nothing. She sounds good. I was a bit... She sounds good. It's not... I thought it... We didn't hurt it. I don't think it sounded just like this when it stopped, just like it ran out of fuel. But changed filters as you saw, and it took a bit of bleeding because I'd say the separator was trying to use the lift pump to prime the whole system, so I'd say got an air pocket in that. But Dad's going to tip her off now just so I can video it with the gimbal. If I got that or not, that was a couple of weeks ago, but he's pushed it all down, going to burn it in the winter. A fair bit of work with it, probably an hour and a half. She still sounds nice. She's not breathing heavy, it's not smoking, it's in fairly good condition. Out this side of those Tommy trucks. Looks like she's got a bit more air in it for some reason. I don't know where it's getting it from. I have to go and get the tractor now so we can put another load on it. Leaking service brake on the front axle, so when you push the brake down it obviously leaks, and that the diaphragm leaking in the booster, but if she runs out of air away it goes, because the override on the handbrake just does nothing. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting a couple of them service and park chambers, putting a dash valve and an air tank, or just running it off that existing air tank, and just say you've got an emergency button rather than, because it pulls it like a booster will travel that far, where that lever's pulling the slack adjusters that far. It's completely different, and they got the same pattern. So okay, I went and got the New Holland with the 4-in-1 bucket on it. I'm just going to throw a load into that Albion. I brought a bit of a snack pack there. They're lovely and cold, 4 lovely cold bottles there. So hot here, there's a bit of a storm coming, so I don't know how much filming we'll get done, because where we're tipping down there is, she's not going to have a lot of traction, so unless I'm picking up the spot for now and just push it down. But there's not much of a pile there either because the day it broke down, that's all that was left. So we've since got a few more heaps further down which we may attack, but see how heavy this rain gets. Just absolutely flogged rain. Dad muddy ran under there and I drove halfway down here and it started raining, as you've seen. So we just had a quick cold treat under that shelter there. Now the sun's back out, we'll continue on. Okay, so we got this little heap here we're going to throw into her, and that's where she broke down. This is all that was left of the job, but you can see Dad down there on the day where Dick in the distance there, he's scratching up another pile. But there's another one up there, but there's a lot of dirt in it, so I'll have a look at it first before we venture down there. But it's just absolutely belted rain, so I don't know if we're going to be able to tip it off in the same spot. I'll put her up the top of the hill and we'll just push it down later. But you see the old Acco here, she's given me a few different strange looks because I don't think she likes what's going on here with this new one. Much better to drive the Albion than that old girl, but I still got a soft spot for her, so she still will feature in a few shows. But a couple of things I don't like about this one is apart from the floor being gone, that sometimes comes out, but the tipper doesn't go up high enough. As you can see, the dirt stuck in it. I pulled this body off an old D-Series Ford that my dad rode off, but wrecked the cab, but the back was still alright. It's obviously a little single drive D-Series, but I think what I've done, and it used to work fine on that, but I think I've put the hoist feet too far forward. Now the reason I did that is because there was other bolts and things in the way, but I think it needs coming back, so as you picture that up and then slide that back, you get a lot more distance out of that. So that's the reason I think that's why. But anyway, I'll probably do that one day. But I've got the old Flintstone now, the Mac. It's a bastard of a thing, but I still like using it. The Acco and now the Albion. So, and a bloke rang me 2 nights ago and he's donated a tractor to me, which I knew. The bloke I got the loader and the roller off, John, nice bloke, and the bloke I got the tyres off, matter of fact, but I've been putting on all the Chamberlain cranes. He gave me a international AOS 6, which is equivalent to a W6 international tractor, but it's AO means Australian orchard model, so orchard means it's a bit narrower and you sit a bit lower on it. So he's donating that, but also a farm trailer, like a tipping trailer for a tractor. So we're going to be in big business here. We're going to be able to move a lot of material. So what I'm going to do is set this up. Hopefully you can capture the tractor in the truck. I'm just going to put the gimbal down on the grass. That's all I've got, and I'll focus in as best as I can. Okay, so I haven't got a passenger today. I've just got like a suction cup holder for the camera on the windscreen. I was going to put it on the door over there so you can see more, but it's Perspex, and when I went to push it, it nearly come out. So it's a 12 speed. I mean, we're not going fast, so we're not going to need 12 gears, but this is high and low, like a splitter, and it's in the transmission, not the diff. And then you got five, six here, so you can split every one of those, and that's a non-synchro box. So she's an old crash box. There's that many things going on here. There's a PDO, there's a hoist lever, there's a handbrake, high and low, and your engine stop, and then your main stick. So I'll try and you're not going to be able to see out the windscreen, but we're heading downhill at the moment. Once I come up out of that creek, I'll split a couple, see how I go with her. This is only my third time driving it, so but we can take it for a longer drive later, see how many loads we've got to do. So I'll try and fire it up. Got nowhere to put me bloody cold snack, but hopefully she's ready to go. I'll wait till the air's right up. She hasn't lost any, still on 100 psi. I go about 110, she'll max out. Pretty good. It only leaks on that front pancake when you put your foot on the service brakes. Start off in high first. Facing downhill, so I can, once the weight's off it, it'll take back off. Quite wet here, just that last downpour, it's terrible. Stick in it, caught on the tailgate. I thought she was boiling, but it's just me with the foot's resting on the pedal there, and that's that leak in the pancake at the front there. Okay, I'll do a shot of loading her up now inside the tractor. On this one. You'll notice I parked, when we turned around, I parked a fair way away from the heat. One, I didn't want to leave the truck on the hill on that pathetic park brake I was telling you about, and two, this tractor is very unstable and you've got a bit of weight in the bucket. Like I filled the tyres up with water on the back of it, it made a difference, but it's scared me a lot of times. It's very unstable, so I'd rather back up the hill and load where she's a bit level. Plus the cold snacks are in here too. One's a blessing sometimes. Other times they're all pain in the arse. You pick up a log and you max out the relief valve, but then you lift it up and it just falls out. I think she needs a Steam Space logo on the door of her. Knew it was missing something. It scares me just laying it over that far. Any other tractor you wouldn't care less. Any other one here anyway. Happy with that little truck. It's so easy to use compared to that Flintstone Mac and that Acco. Probably doesn't hold as much because it's so nippy and so versatile. It's a lot quicker. You can move more regardless. Best present I've ever got, I think. Sandy used to look after me pretty well when I was a kid too. Best he could anyway. Little truck to get that rego we get here in New South Wales. Headed past very easily. Get the lights and the blink, the wipers and that working on it. She'd pass easy. It needs a bit of other work that I know about, like got got a couple of rough wheel studs and that on it, but basically if everything works and it's all in original condition, it passes the ADR like the design that it was when it came out. It's legible, so it's a good little thing to I don't know, go for a run, club run, or go down and go to the bottle shop in or something. About the Australian government drilling us a new arsehole, we just get ripped. We get taxed about 3 times. We're paying income tax on our wages, and then we've got a GST on top of everything we buy. And then say I bought a carton of beer today, or a bottle of bourbon, which I don't mind, 63% of that 750ml bottle is taxed to the government. Plus the GST on top of the price, and you're paying 3. It's just ridiculous. But that's on everything. Everything we buy is taxed. So plus I pay $1,000 a week income tax. What I'm getting at is, if this registration on the truck, say I think a B-double here, a prime mover and 2 trailers, like a lot of blokes have got, a lot of companies have got, two semi-trailers, is about between 25 and 30,000 a year. You just get a single prime mover with 1 trailer here, or a tractor trailer like you blokes call them over there. That prime mover with the rego and the green slip, we call it here, is roughly $8,000 annually. So these trucks I've got, believe it or not, cost me about, I've got them all insured, fully insured, so I think the Grey Kenworth, for instance, it's insured for the most, because I paid the most for it because of what it is. But I think it's insured for $30,000 for about $220, and the registration, the initial registration when I had to buy the plates was, I don't know, $76 or something. So rounded off to 80 plus the 220, you got $300. Plus you've got to be a member of a club, and you've got full use of that vehicle for your whatever you want to do involving that club. So I can't go and put a paying load on it, but I've no interest in doing that at all. So but if I go and get a tractor, as you've seen, I'm allowed to just go and do it, because we get 60 days per vehicle. So I've got 3 trucks, 3 registered prime movers and 2 trailers at the moment. Actually, I've got 5 registered prime movers, 3 trailers at the moment, including the 8-wheeler and the old Louisville. 8-wheeler Kenworth, I've got the old twin steer, she's registered too. She hasn't really made an appearance for a long time, that one, but it's just unbelievable. Like, so you add all them up, say the 3 prime movers that I've got to start with, the 2 old slimline Kenworths and the white, you add those together, there's 60 days each machine, so there's 180 days use I can get out of it. Trailer's not included because they just go off the truck logbook. But then you got club days as well, so if you go on a club run, that's not a logbook run. It's just unbelievable. What I'm getting at is they rip us blind, absolutely blind. It's just so unfair what they rip us off, and then we get something good like that. It's hard to work out where they're at, and I'm very much appreciative of that scheme. It's just magnificent. I don't lean on it. I don't do any paying loads. I never have. All I've done is pick up tractors or stuff for this hobby I've got. But I think each truck's got maybe 2 entries. The white I haven't used this year, so it's got no entries. The grey Kenworth I've done 1 run in, and the blue one we've done those 2 with the Albion and the Chamberlain crane. So it's just magnificent. It's just really welcoming, and I don't know. I'm sure you all know what I'm getting at. We get ripped blind one area, and then next area is just such a gift. And I think all those. I think I've got the Ford Louisville. I've got the twin steer cab over Kenworth. Got the 2 other prime mover Kenworths and the white 4000. 3 trailers. I don't think it equals the rego of the family car. So it's just amazing. It really is. I really appreciate it. You do get people that lean on it, which I don't agree with, but I can't stop it either. But again, we're not hurting anyone. We're not pay them taxes on them roads. You know, pay rego for our cars. That's just magnificent. I just hope it stays around. Sorry for waffling on, but some people might be interested in that. There's no way I'd pay full rego on a truck when I'd only use it for what I'm doing now. I'm not interested in carting a load for someone else, not at all. I'm not a truck driver. I only fix machines. I certainly appreciate to keep this old gear alive. Getting back to the Albion, like you know, you'd insure it for, say you can afford it, probably, I don't know, $8,000. You're probably looking at a fee of $200 with rego and full insurance. And with that insurance, you get a free tow from anywhere in Australia, and you get 2 free windscreens a year if they're broken at a show. So I don't know, I can't fault it. It's just magnificent. I think Victoria, this is just New South Wales, I think Victoria's, we've got to be 30 years and older, the vehicle itself, and I think Victoria's 25, correct me if I'm wrong. The other states I don't know. Seen in the crane video that I'm after 30 years is 1994, so I'm after like a Ford LTS or something, a prime mover of about 300 to 400 horsepower with a road ranger, preferably big, but prefer a road ranger. But you know, if it's an old Volvo or something, it doesn't matter either. But I like one of those LTSs with the little Cummins in them with a turntable on it. Something I can take my wife for a nice drive, and just I mean, I love the old GMs revving and roaring, but sometimes you just want that nippy little trip just to go and pick something up. You don't stand out as much on a weighbridge, because those blokes that pulled me up with that Kenworth going to get this Albion, they just heard the noise of the thing about 3 kilometres away, and I think they had their lights on about 2 kilometres before it. Just wanted to see her. So, but then once you're in there, they go over it. Because she stands out, it's a nice old girl. It's got a standard old, you know, L9000 or something like that. I'll put a photo up here while I'm talking. If anyone knows of one, please let me know. I haven't got a lot of money, but if it's within reason, I'll say yes. If not, I don't have to. Cement edges and that had them, and they're a good rigid truck. They had M11 Cummins in them, and like little 10 or 11 litre Cummins. So they were a lot of rigid or straight trucks, as you just call them over there, like tray tops and cement agitators and stuff. But then you got the bigger ones, the 9000s, which were guess, more horsepower and different suspension. Something just to drag that little float around, or the float top would be lovely. Something a bit quieter. Don't get me wrong, I still love the old 871. It's just in club runs are good. If you want to go for a leisurely run just to pick up something I've been given or something I've bought, or that'd be brilliant. Just got out and threw a few things in by hand just so I didn't pick too much dirt up. That's the end of that loop now. Probably just do this one load and then do an outro to the episode. hard to slide down there. You can see how wet it is. It's all on this side too. Too much weight across that. Needs a barn gate on it. All that knotty stuff in there, it's just holding it up. But I'll get the excavator to come over and, without hurting it, try and scratch it. It's all caught on the top of the bar there. Probably take the gate off because a couple of those Dad did too. She got caught like this. Not bad, but it's not stuck on the floor. It's just that across where the top of the tailgate is there. With dirt, it wouldn't be a problem, but she's fairly top heavy and laying over here at the moment. Shake it out either because there's no weight on that other side wheel because she's laying that much, and with it being a diff she's just spinning the easiest one, so she wouldn't move. Probably will when I put it back down. She took. Probably take that gate off. I don't want to hurt it. I don't like doing that sort of stuff to trucks. That'll be our last load. It's just too wet. You see the fair hoop we had in it. Drive up, find a good spot for an outro for the episode. Okay everyone, that's going to be the end of this episode. It's just far too wet to do any more with it. But she will appear again. What we're going to do here, we're going to move, as you know, all those trucks in the intro of the episode and where they sit as we've worked on them, we're going to move them to the other side of the road. There'll be a couple of first starts, but there'll be a few just moved with the forklift too, just sort of from the back, just run them on the front axle. But just take far too long to get them all going. But we're going to use this to put all the trucks on a hard stand, so all the machines will be moved back. And whatever's on that side of the road, and then we'll put a hard stand there for the trucks so there's not weeds growing up through them all, and then make a display over there. So we'll be using this to cart all the material from the back gate down to where we are, so look forward to that. So thanks to Patreon members, thanks to people supporting us. The merchandise is nearly all gone, which we've had a lot of orders this week. They slowed right down, but then they've picked back up. So thanks to all those people, but it's just magnificent where it's going, and I'm still enjoying it. So if you can all please click that like button, share, it just helps it. We slowed right down when we got married, but now it's going okay. So I'll still enjoy it regardless of the outcome. So thanks again everyone for watching.